Hi everyone. So today we'll be covering labeler asset. In this video, I am Mohit Agarwal from the product specialist team. So the agenda of this video will be I'll be giving an introduction to the labeler asset. I'll walk you through its feature and we'll also see how can we configure it. During configuration, we can either choose token option and character option. So we'll see that as well. And towards the end, I'll show you everything from configurations, features, and overview in a demo. So let's move ahead. Introduction. So what is labeler asset? So as the name suggests, a labeler assigns label to the data based on predefined rules. Now what are these rules? It can be anything according to use cases, and we'll see how to configure these rules in the coming slides. Labeler asset helps in data categorization, classification, and enrichment. So what does it mean? So for example, you have a name as a column, and in this column there are names of customer, for example, and the name contain first name, middle name, and last name. So what you can do is you can label the name, and basically you can divide the name in three tokens, respectively first name, middle name, and last name. So you can categorize that single data, and then you can use it for further classification and enrichment of whatever, like maybe you can feed it to some model or whatever use cases. It assists in compliance by labeling sensitive data. So for example, you have some sensitive data that you want to mask, for example social security number or mobile number, anything like that. So what you can do is you can define a rule that will identify that it is a social security number, for example, and then it will mask it. So that can also be done by labeler. And as I said, it helps in segmenting data for analysis. Like the name example, you can segment a name into three categories and then you can use it for further analysis. So what are the features? So as I said, it segregate data for analysis. Moving forward, you can assign the data tokens according to predefined dictionary or regular expressions. So let's say for name you cannot use a regular expressions. So in that case you can use the dictionary of all the first name, middle name, and last name that you can encounter, and the labeler will use that dictionary to assign tokens to that data. Or for example, for social security number or for email addresses, you can use a regular expression as well. Now this will help in data masking, like I said, for sensitive data, and it can also help you in finding patterns in the data. So for example, you can define a pattern using regular expression and you can assign some label to that pattern, and if data is uncounted, the labeler will assign the label to that, and then you can use that label to find how many of the data is matching the pattern. Moving forward on how to configure it, it's simple. You can simply go to the CDQ landing page. You can choose the CDQ chiclet, and then in that you can go to create, and then they will be presented with a list of assets. From there, choose labeler, and then you can go on to define name, description, and you can either choose a token labeling or a character labeling. So what is a token labeling character? So for example, you have a email address. So if you tokenize the entire data, it is called if you label the entire data, it will be called as token labeling. But if you label certain characters of that data, not the entire data, it will be called character labeling. So you can define labeler steps to configure all that. We'll see that in the demo part. As I said, you can also use regular expressions or you can use dictionary. So you can predefine a dictionary, and then you can use this dictionary to in various labels for various data. For example, first name, last name, maybe cities, countries, like that. And the same goes for regular expressions. You can either use custom regular expressions if that is suitable for use cases, or Informatica provide a range of various regular expressions which are pre-built identity for your use. For example, phone number, social security number, email addresses, and multiple other things that are already present as a part of our pre-made regular expressions. You can simply go choose any of the regular expression which meets your use case and use it for labeling. So let's go ahead and check everything using a demo. So here, as you can see, we can create a label isolate by clicking on new, click on labeler, and it will give me this option. So here what I can do is I can name my labeler asset as per I want, and then in description choose any location and any dimension among these. You can either choose none, or if any dimension matches a use case you can choose it. After that you can go to configuration and you can choose which type of labeling you want. Either you want token labeling or you want character labeling. So token labeling means you assign label to a string, a complete string, and token labeling means you can assign a label to each character of a string. So first let's go with the token labeling. So here as I selected token labeling, I need to add a step, and then I get the option to use dictionary and regular expressions. So let's see one of each. We can begin with regular expression. Click on OK, and you have the option to use built-in or custom. So if you have any custom use case, you can use a custom regular expression. Here I will be using one of the various built-in operations we have. So for example, if I want to see if any of the so like if any of the data here is a phone number, or example, let's say I want an Indian phone number. So I choose that, click on select, okay, and now here I have the option to choose the label type. What is this? Determine whether the step assigns a default label to the values that match the regular expression or assign a label that you define. So here the default label is valid. If you want, you can use a user defined label. So for example, I am using a user defined label and I will say IND to mark this phone number as an Indian. So now let's test it. Here let me assign any one Indian phone number and one random non-Indian phone number. Let's test it. So here as you can see, the phone number which was Indian, it gave the labeled output which is IND and the tokenized data, and the one which was not Indian, it did not give any output. So in this manner it will assign this token only to those data which is satisfying the criteria. Now apart from this I can add a different step, and I can add any dictionary. So as you can see, I have created this dictionary USA surname. So what it will define is it has a list of all the surnames we have in USA. So if any of the data matches this, it will assign this label whichever I create for it. So now we'll go to our labeler and we'll search for this name. So I've selected this surname, and here I will see a data preview of my dictionary. I can assign any label to it. Let's say I want to assign the last name label. Better let's make it like this. Now I want, if I want, I can make it case sensitive so that it will only match if the case is exactly same as the case in the dictionary, or I can make it a case insensitive like it is now. Okay, so there are two modes, inclusive and exclusive. So what are the modes? Determine whether the step applies the label to any value that is included in the dictionary or any value that is absent from the dictionary. So what it means is, if a value is not in the dictionary, if we select inclusive, if a value is in the dictionary, it will mark it as that label. If we select exclusive, if the value is not in the dictionary, then it will mark it the label. So determine whether the step applies a label to any value that is included in the dictionary or any value that is absent from the dictionary. So now after this we can also enable standardization. So what it means is, like, here in the dictionary we have multiple columns. So for example, instead of saint, someone writes saint underscore hyphen, or instead of st someone writes st hyphen or st dot. So if we enable standardization, what it will do is it will ask for a valid column, which in case I have given column 1. So even if someone has named it as st hyphen or st dot, it will automatically change it to st, so that my data is standardized. So now let's test this one as well. I'll, let's say, st dot John, or so as we can see here, it identified that this one has the last name, and what it will do is instead of st, it will make it as last name John. And as you can see, I have given it st dot, but as we enable standardization here, it automatically converts st dot to normal st. So like I said in my PPT that we can use it for data masking. This is what I want meant. So like for example, instead of st, it was some sensitive data. For example, here it was the phone number, which is sensitive data. So it will replace this phone number with this label. So here I have created one dictionary, one labeler asset. As you can see, there are multiple values. You can choose as many labels as you want, and you can classify your data, segregate your data as per your use case. Now let's go ahead and see the character labeling option instead of the token labeling option. So for character labeling option, we need to choose character, and here I can either choose a character set or a dictionary. So let's go with the character set. Just like regular expressions, you can choose your own custom character set, or you can use a built-in character set. So here I am using a built-in character set, and as let's select digit. So now if there is any digit, it will label it as 9. Instead of that, if you want, you can also choose English alphabet. What it will do is, if there is any English alphabet, either small or in caps, it will mark it as X. Okay, so now you can now define any ignore text. So for example, search term, case sensitive, uppercase, start position and end position. So what it means is, if you want, you can ignore some of the values, and what it will do is, if it recognizes that term, it will not label it or it will not mask it. So let's say there is some harmless values, or there is some value which you need to keep, which if it is masked, it will create some problem with your use cases. You can simply write it here. For example, if I want that if there is a term Mohit, I don't want it to be masked. You can also define if it is case sensitive or not, and if you want it to be uppercased. Also you can define some start position and end position for it to be searched. So as you can see here, it marked all the name character wise, and then if for Mohit it ignored Mohit, but HI high it marks. So this is how you can do character labeling. So this is the labeler. So that was the demo on how to use labeler asset and some of the use cases. Thank you for your time, and we'd love to hear from you. Please reach out to us on supportvideos@informatica.com or the Twitter account InfoSupport for any feedback. And thank you so much.